Hi, today I'm going to talk about investing in New Zealand shares. So I have absolutely no experience in this, and I've just been starting to invest in some shares in the past month. So what I'm going to talk about today is two main things, which is which shares I've started in being a total beginner, and also how I've saved the money to invest in shares. And so first off, I started with Sharesies, which is a New Zealand company. If you do a lot of Googling, there's a lot of companies out there, but they're not actually available to New Zealand citizens. So I started with Sharesies, and I've put about $150 in to start with. I've actually spread it over a few different things, some automated and some that I'm putting in like $10 a week in. And what I found so far is that my shares have gone up in price, so about $5.78, and that's over 1 month. So comparing it to my high interest savings account, it's done way better. So it's definitely something I'm going to kind of keep looking at and seeing how it progress. Like I said, I did 2 automated ones, and another one I just kind of chose like a responsible fund and also a global one, and it invests the money for you. So I literally put the money in and I can forget about it, and it's really easy. Obviously the share price can go up or go down. So the other investment that I've done is pay into my Kiwisaver. Now I went with AMP. I've actually been paying into it for about, I think, 10 years now. And that is a amount that I would pay in, and then my employer matches what I put in. So obviously it's doubling your money, and it's something that you'd use for your retirement fund. So I can't actually touch it until I retire, or I can use it on my first home. Now Auckland is so expensive. Houses are, even with like a 6-figure salary, houses are between 6 to 7 times your salary. Yeah. So it's not very likely or easy that I'm going to be able to afford property here. So anyway, still paying into the Kiwisaver, and after about 10 years, I've got about 38,000 sitting in my Kiwisaver, which is a fair amount. It's still not quite enough to actually pay a deposit on a house, which you have to pay between 12 and 15% at the moment. So yeah, it's like a ongoing, slow kind of earning. So something else I'm doing is I've got money in a high interest savings account. Now I definitely used to get more money back on this, but now it's barely anything, to be honest, to even kind of shout home about. So I would say try investing in other things. You can also do bonus bonds. Some people have had quite good luck in it, and some people haven't. Personally, I haven't gone with bonus bonds. I think I'm going to look more into long-term investments where I can get some dividends back, and that is obviously what I can live off. So the second thing I'm going to talk to you about is how I save to actually invest money. So I got this really, really good advice from actually as an ex-partner's brother, who told me about organizing my finances. So what I would do is I put it into 4 accounts. The first account is where your money gets paid into. This is where you pay your rent out of, so basically you don't really touch that account. The next account you have is a high interest savings account. Again, you shouldn't be touching this. You put money into it each month, or every time you get paid. So be it weekly, fortnightly, or monthly, you work out how much money you can actually put away into that savings account, and you don't even have to think about it. The next 2 accounts are attached to my card. So what I do is I have $1,000 again in a savings account, but one that I don't get penalized if I take out of it. So I have $1,000 in there, which would cover things like if I needed car repairs or unexpected bills that I didn't like coming through, and then I always know I've got $1,000 there to use. The other one is my everyday spending account. So what I do is I budget myself to have $200 a week, and that's what I get to live off. So you can obviously adjust that if you can kind of get away with less. I would use that for everything. So it's really good to like kind of budget your food, and then you can kind of see how you're tracking. I have actually started using more my credit card, but I'll never spend more money than I have. I always pay it off each month. And the reason why I use my credit card is actually because I get money back on when I use it. So there's some really good tips like to kind of help you budget your money and know how much you're spending. There is definitely things that I kind of wish that I'd kind of thought about better regarding spending my money. One is what degree I chose. So I did a year at college doing like a foundation arts kind of college course for a year, and then I did a 3-year degree. Now the degree I did in costume for screen and stage, and I really struggled to get work and be like well paid. And to be honest, if I'd actually chosen a better degree, I would have been in full-time employment earning way better money than I am now. It's taken me years to get to a point of working in IT and actually earning a really good salary. So that's something I would definitely think about more. So if you're in your late teens or 20s and you still don't know what to do, please research. You need to see whether something is in demand or how much you're going to get paid, because at the end of the day, if you're better paid, you could actually work less hours. And then it's kind of like, well, as long as you're kind of, you can actually do the job and it's stimulating in a way, then I prefer to do that than slog my guts out for 50 hours a week doing something maybe I love, but for hardly any money. Yeah, that's definitely something that I wish I kind of thought a bit more about. Another way that I am saving the money is by minimalizing my life. So I literally tackled every part of my life, be it kitchen, my bathroom, my clothes, my car, my handbag, everything. I literally went through everything, cut everything down, sold stuff I didn't need or didn't use anymore. And actually that made me a bit of money. And I'm still doing that as I go and trying not to spend unnecessarily. So if I buy shoes, for example, they're good quality shoes, they're going to last me a long time. I need to have those shoes because for work or whatever. It's not because I really just want to have them, if that makes sense. I really do use things till I can't wear them anymore. I had a handbag which actually cost me 60 New Zealand dollars and it survived 8 years. And so I've just replaced it now. So it's things like I don't unnecessarily buy things that I don't really need. Some advice, which I actually watched this video recently, and obviously I'm still really kind of in the start of my journey. I have been saving, but probably not as much as I could have. I watched this video about this couple and they managed to put away 60% of their earnings, which I was just so surprised at. And they weren't earning great money either. They weren't earning 6 figures, but by cooking at home and not having a car, and to be honest, I don't think I could live without my car. So that's an expense that I can't really live without, but I'm definitely going to start eating more at home. What I did was to really see all my expenses, because this really got me thinking, was I exported my bank accounts for the last 12 months. I then ordered them from highest to lowest, and I could actually see what I'd spent most of my money on, and I was really surprised. I'd spent nearly $1,000 on coffee. I was very surprised. So yeah, if you're a coffee drinker, then maybe just have one a week or something like that. But yeah, there's been a few businesses that I've invested in, they haven't actually made me any money and things like that. So that's things that I'm going to really think long and hard about before I invest my money. So yeah, what I would suggest as well, which is something I've just done, is I took a Excel document. I actually just use Google Sheets. And I started writing down all my different expenses that I have ongoing. So I had put down my insurance, be that car, contents or health, and then my internet costs, my phone costs, my travel to and from work, my electricity, my lawns and my food. Now what I did was I worked this all out and I actually did some online quotes to see if I could get a better price anywhere else. And some of the things I can see, actually I've got the best deal I possibly can. And some things I was actually quite surprised that actually I could save $240 a year. Now we think, oh, $240 isn't that much, but if you put it into an investment, then you're actually going to get even more money back. So I actually did this for everything and I worked it out by month and for year. And then what I did was I could change the food amount that I would be using each week. So if I changed it from 200 to 100, I could then start saying, if I was to put all that money that I could, like that I didn't obviously spend away, how much savings I would have after a year. Now, for me, it didn't take that long to do this, and I highly recommend doing it. And it's such a big motivator. Like, now I'm kind of like, okay, I have a reason. I'm not going to have that coffee because now I'm going to have like $1,000 in my account that I wouldn't otherwise have. And $1,000 is a lot. That could be a holiday, or invest it again, or whatever you want. So I really highly recommend that. If you want any tips or anything about how to do that, just drop a comment below and I'll see how I can help you out. But the other reason why I'm doing this is because my hours are changing from full-time to part-time. And now I wanted to see if I could still save and how much money I had to live off, because I kind of needed to make sure that I could actually still afford to live. And this spreadsheet has just kind of reassured me that even working part-time, that I'll actually be able to save as well. Something that I'm looking into, which is a lot of people have Mint and things like that, but they're actually for the USA. So if you're in New Zealand like me, there's a couple of different apps that I would recommend, having done some research, and that would either be Pocketsmith, but with the free version you have to import bank statements manually. So I'll be honest, that's not going to help me budget as I go. Otherwise, you can do like a integration with your bank, but then you're paying $10 a month. So $10 a month is $520 a year. So I kind of think, well, actually that's quite a lot of money just to manage my money. So another thing that I'm looking at is possibly moving my banking to Westpac. Westpac have their own app called CashNav. Now in that app, they actually categorize your spending for you into travel, food, and actually track how you're spending compared to like the last month. And actually I think this will be really, really helpful, so I can actually see where I'm tracking with my money, and if I want to hit like a tight budget, I'll be able to see where I am. Now, I'm actually with a total different bank called BNZ, and there's nothing, BNZ don't have anything. So what I'm going to do first actually is open an account with Westpac, test the app out and actually see how good it is before obviously I move all my direct payments and all my banking across. So that's definitely something that I would possibly recommend doing. I'm definitely no financial advisor, but this is just the things that I've found that will help me. It's things like I don't get my hair cut all the time. There's just these little things that I kind of don't spend huge amounts of money on. I'll buy the brand of, even though it's natural based from the supermarket, so it's $4. I don't spend $30 on hair shampoo. I hope you found this really useful. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and thanks for watching.